Hey guys, BreakWizard59 here, today coming at you with yet another LEGO Star Wars set to review. And today we have a very exciting review. This is set number 7260, the Wookie Catamaran. This set came out in 2005, has 351 pieces, and when it originally came out, it retailed for $49.99 or $50 US. This is the set as a whole. You can of course see here we got the Wookie Catamaran itself. You have your Republic Swamp Speeder and 6 awesome minifigures, 3 of which are exclusive to this set. So there's a lot in this set, so without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at those minifigures. Alright, so the first minifigure in the set is of course Chewbacca, and he was actually quite common back in the day. But you can of course see he of course has the overmolded head and torso, and then of course with the silver gun stripe across his chest, which is actually supposed to represent an ammo belt. And then you can see he does of course carry his famous crossbow. And as we move around, you can see he does not have any side printing. Here's just a look at the back, which is actually exactly identical. The overall torso and legs actually have no printing on them. And then you could just see a better look at the face with the black nose. So there is Chewbacca. Moving along, we of course have the fellow Wookiee. This is actually just a Wookiee warrior. And you could see here, he is definitely a bit tall. He of course has a lot more detailing going on. You could see on the front he of course has that same ammo pouches, except he does have the gold type of circular part in the middle. And you can see of course he does carry a spear. And I really love the gold printing on the helmet and his mouth. Really looks nice. Here's just a look at the back, which is exactly identical. And then here we are back to the front. So this is definitely a great figure, and this was only found in one of 2 sets in the year 2005. Moving right along, we of course have now Yoda. And this figure was a bit common in a couple sets. He goes for around $6-7 on Bricklink. But this is definitely a really great figure. Actually, this is personally my favorite of the 3 versions of Yoda which have been released. You can see, of course, has a torso printing, which is quite simple. A small belt, along with a necklace. He does, of course, have his cane with the bright sand green hands. Here's a look at the back, and he, yes, does have back printing. And then here's back to the front, just so you can get a better look at him. So that is Yoda. Moving right along, here we have the Siege Battalion Trooper, or Kashyyyk Trooper. And this minifigure is, of course, 2 of these in the set. And this is definitely an awesome minifigure. I absolutely love his torso detailing, even though it's quite simple. You can see, of course, he does carry the microphone-styled blaster. Here's just a look, no side printing. And then on the back, he just does have some more green. And then, of course, moving back to the front. The helmet, of course, has the green stripe, which I think looks outstanding. And if you remove his helmet, he just has a very plain black head. So, there's a look at the Siege Battalion Trooper. And finally, and probably my favorite minifigure in this set, this is Luminara Unduli. Now this minifigure, of course, has some quite simple torso detailing with a few wrinkles for her robes and a bit of a necklace. You can see she, of course, has the greenish tan arms and hands. And then on the back, she, of course, has a cape, which does not have back printing. Her face actually is quite simple, with a couple of dots for the eyes and then purple for the lips. And then she, of course, has this cool headpiece mold, or headdress, which I really think looks great. And the most special thing about this figure is that when you press down on the head, the lightsaber lights up. So that's a very special minifigure. That's what actually makes it quite rare. Goes for around $25-30 online. And this was actually a very sought after figure, one of only 5 that were released. But there you go, that is Luminara Unduli. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the set. And here's a look at your Swamp Speeder. This is definitely a very nice build. There were, of course, 2 other versions of the Swamp Speeder released, one in 2010 and then one in 2014 in Battle Pack form. And I really think this is the right size out of all 3 of them for this set. So you can see, of course, starting off in the very front, you, of course, have 2 twin turbo lasers. Each one are just sticks with the cone, so there isn't really a playability feature there. You can, of course, move it back and forth depending on where you would like to fire. In the middle, we, of course, have this large brick, modified brick, which is the overhang of the vehicle. You, of course, have these 2 pieces of armor. Each one is printed, which I really do love about this set. Then you got some of these dome pieces on the ends. Here's a look at the side. I definitely know it is quite simple here and here, but I'll get into what happens there in just a sec. You, of course, have your 2 seats here where you can actually take your Siege Battalion Trooper and just place him over there. Now, the only con I have with this is, of course, I would have liked if they could have maybe included some sort of control, as that would have actually pretty much sealed the deal with this vehicle. Here's a look at the back. You, of course, have the engine, which can move back and forth. And then here's a look at the other side, which is exactly identical. Now, these studs right over here, the thing you can do is actually take your blaster and place it right at those studs, like so. You have the other stud on the other side where you can put your second blaster. And then, of course, these pieces can move up and down depending on how you want the armor to be. But that's just a look at your Swamp Speeder. And here we have the Wookie Catamaran, which is a very large vehicle, actually. Here's just a look next to a minifigure for scale. So definitely a pretty decent sized vehicle. But basically, what you have here, as we'll move it to the front of the vehicle here. So basically, you have this large turbine engine, connected to which are these 2 sections here, each where you can actually fit your minifigures. So on the front, we just have this nice little turbine, which has these blades, which do spin, which I definitely think is pretty cool. Moving along to the side, here's just a better look. You have this large Technic build with a couple of these unique Technic pieces, which I think definitely looks very nice. And the good part is it's very strong, so this is a great place to lift it up from. And this is actually a torpedo cannon. So basically, what you do for this feature is you have this section, or this piece here, which you push down to release the torpedo. Here's just another look at it. You can basically see this is like one of those cannon shooting pieces, like one of the cannons, and then you just push this down to fire the torpedo, which I definitely think is a cool little feature, great play feature to add. So here's just a look at the side sections here, both of which are identical. You can see we got a lot of plates on their sides. You got these modified type of angle pieces, slopes, and I definitely think it really gives it a bit of a sleek look. Now basically over here, this is where you would place all your minifigures. Here's just a better look at that. And it's definitely a lot of space here. There isn't really any controls, but pretty much you got a lot of studs of space. So you can take your minifigure and just put him inside. And you can see they do actually end up fitting with the weapons, which I really like. And basically you can put them sideways or forward, and you could fit anywhere from 3 to 4 minifigures on each side. And of course, one more play feature here, as we move around to this section, is the bomb dropping. But anyways, the way that mechanism works, you take this knob and you push it to the side, take this knob and push it to this side, and that will in turn drop these 1x2 cylindrical pieces. So let's go ahead and just explore that mechanism a bit closer. Alright, here's a bit of a closer look at the mechanism. So basically, when you push this knob, it will push this Technic axle, which it's connected to, this way. And if you see on this side, basically the Technic axle comes out of this end of your catamaran, which will in turn, if you could see, as we move it, so you drop it. So when that Technic axle comes out of this side right here, it will end up dropping this section over here. So one more look, you push this, the Technic axle will come out, it in turn dropping this section right here, which would drop the bombs. So that's a pretty much look at that cool mechanism. And here's just a farther out look. Here you can see, you push that knob, and then your bombs drop, which I think is definitely a pretty cool feature. I really do like it that they include these type of play features, and definitely it looks pretty good. Here on the back, of course, you have the engines, which are some pretty cool pieces. They're actually this like bronze type of, like these bronze domes with these silver cone pieces, which I definitely think looks really great. And here's just a better look at how the entire model is connected. I definitely would have preferred if they might have covered these up, but other than that, this is actually going to do it for the review of the Catamaran. And that's going to do it for the review of set number 7260, the Wookie Catamaran. So all in all, this is definitely a very solid set. I really love it. You get some great minifigures, you get some great vehicles, and one thing I really like about this set is that you get villains and heroes. Now I know you can make clones actually be the on the Republic side, but this is somewhat representing the scene where actually the clones have already turned evil. As on the actual instruction manual, you do see that the Catamaran is actually attacking the Swamp Speeder. But all in all, this is a great set. The only flaws I have is with the Swamp Speeder. They could have probably included a couple of controls. That would have been nice, but again, it's a very, very minor flaw. For the Catamaran, maybe added some pieces to just cover up those Technic holes and parts. But other than that, this is a very solid set. So my overall rating is an 8 out of 10, because it really deserves it. It has some great figs, great vehicles, and all in all, it's a great set. But anyways, that's going to do it for this review. If you're looking to actually buy this set, you can find it on brooklyn.com and eBay for around $85 cheapest used. It'll cost you, of course, $150, if not $200 if you want to buy it new in box sealed. But anyways, that's going to do it for this review. So definitely check out some of my other LEGO Star Wars reviews, as I am actually working on reviewing all of the Revenge of the Sith LEGO Star Wars sets, which are in the year 2005, which is all these sets right here. I pretty much have reviews for most of these sets, except for probably the ARC 170 and the Jedi Starfighter. But that's anyways going to do it for this review. Thank you so much for watching. Definitely give this video a thumbs up if you found this review informative, or if you just had fun watching. And stay tuned for more reviews coming in the future of some awesome sets. But anyways, it's BrickWizard59. I want to thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. And anyways, I'll see you all next time.